Right now, live at 5.
We take you inside one of the county's first 5 to 11 vaccination clinics.
Plus,
later tonight, a drastic change in UMD's chain of command.
And later, Northland health leaders are hoping that hunters will bring back a buck this deer season, not the COVID virus. Their advice for staying healthy out in the woods.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News, Live at 5. Here's a live look at the White House, where government officials are unveiling new rules which will require millions of unvaccinated Americans to get the COVID vaccine. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Briggs LaSavage. Today's news comes, two of the nation's top doctors testified on Capitol Hill about the nation's path forward amid the pandemic.
On the second full day that kids can get COVID vaccine shots, top public health officials were grilled about the ongoing response to the pandemic.
Vaccination, as we have seen, decreases your risk of infection by 6-fold, decreases your risk of hospitalization and death by 10-fold.
Republican lawmakers repeatedly pressed the witnesses about vaccine mandates versus natural immunity.
Are you so convinced that the data is so compelling that natural immunity isn't as good as vaccination?
If we don't know that natural immunity confers protection against future infection, it's because we've decided not to look.
The nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, again clashed with Republican Senator Rand Paul over whether the virus leaked from a lab in China.
You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
He is egregiously incorrect in what he says.
The contentious hearing came on the same day the White House unveiled new rules, which will require millions of unvaccinated working Americans to get the shot. All federal employees, federal contractors, and healthcare workers at facilities receiving Medicare or Medicaid have until January 4th to be fully vaccinated. People who work at businesses with more than 100 employees must also be vaccinated by January 4th or test weekly and wear a mask at work.
Vaccine requirements are working.
It's a hard sale to tell people who have had COVID that they're now under a mandate.
More than 24 states have already announced plans for lawsuits to block the mandates from taking effect. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
A proof of vaccination requirement took effect today for many indoor locations in Los Angeles, including bars and nightclubs.
Tonight, more than 300 Duluth students are getting their COVID shot at the school district's first vaccine clinic. Duluth is one of the first districts in Minnesota to run COVID vaccine clinics for its youngest students. They're kicking off just 2 days after the CDC said the vaccine is safe and effective for 5 to 11-year-olds. Superintendent John Megas says the district and city worked hand in hand to make sure that these clinics were ready to go right after that green light.
We needed to be ready with those plans, and that's when we ended up being able to launch and have the support from our outside communities.
Tonight's clinic is at Laura MacArthur Elementary. It's open until 7, and they do take walk-ins. You also don't have to be a student in Duluth to go there. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll take you inside the clinic on its opening night.
Itasca County health leaders are hoping hunters will bring back a deer this weekend, not the COVID-19 virus. Health leaders issued that warning this morning, asking hunters to take COVID precautions, especially if they are not vaccinated. County leaders say the good news is vaccine rates are increasing, but so are COVID cases. Right now, there are 90 positive cases in Itasca County. Overall, 54% of county residents have received the vaccine, and vaccine rates for children continue to increase.
Please don't be the person who is taken from your family. Please get vaccinated. If you were hesitant previously, there is no judgment for you changing your mind.
Itasca County plans to start administering the vaccine to children ages 5 to 11 next week. A big announcement today from UMD's Chancellor Lenley Black, who said he's retiring after more than a decade of service.
Yeah, CBS3's Abigail Smith shares what Black's legacy means to the university and what comes next. What can you tell us, Abby?
Yeah, after 40 years of education experience, Black is stepping down, saying it's time for him to slow down and spend time with the people that mean the most to him. From Kennesaw, Georgia to the frozen Northland city on a hill, Chancellor Black has contributed to UMD's legacy for 12 years. During his time spent at the university, $170 million was raised for student support, new teaching and research opportunities, which include large-scale upgrades to campus facilities. Having navigated through everything from drastic financial battles to a global pandemic, Black says it's time for a change of pace.
I'm at a point in my life where I'm certainly not getting any younger, and I want to be able to retire and enjoy my family in ways I've not been able to. As you can imagine, this job is very demanding.
University System President Joan Gable has already started a nationwide search. Black has offered to stay in his current position until a replacement arrives. Black says Gable is optimistic in finding someone as early as the end of spring. During his retirement, Black plans on engaging in local theater productions, spending time with his family, and continuing to be proactive in helping the community any way he is able.
All right, thank you, Abby. And coming up tonight at 6, UMD staff reflect on the legacy that Black leaves on the entire community.
More help is coming to Minnesota's drought-stricken farmers. Governor Tim Walz issued an executive order that will extend a state of emergency and waive trucking regulations for livestock feed. Extreme drought this summer put an intense strain on rangeland and pastures throughout the state. Many farmers are struggling with food source options for livestock. This order will continue to allow providers to transport feed more openly across the state. While recent wet weather has helped, more than half of Minnesota is still seeing at least moderate drought conditions.
Right, and Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, we're getting closer and closer to the start of Minnesota's hunting season, so lots of eyes on the forecast.
Yeah, and those eyes may be disappointed. There won't be any tracking snow. It's going to be warmer than normal. So let's take a look at this live picture of the woods outside of Ely. To the right is what's called up there Purvis country, because back in the day, an old hermit named Sumner Purvis lived there. He was a Spanish-American war vet and lived in that stretch of territory from about 1910 to 1970. He lived to be over 100 years old, very possessive of his land, so all the deer like to hunker in there. Well, now that he's been gone for 50 years, it's a good place to try deer hunting. In fact, I did back in the 80s. Well, this weekend, folks are probably going to have some mild weather with temperatures warmer than normal. There is a slight shower chance coming our way for tomorrow night, but by the morning on Saturday, when Minnesota firearms deer hunters get out into territory like Purvis's, it's going to be sunny and it's going to be warm, and it's probably going to be warmer than most hunters want. So short-term forecast says tonight clouds are increasing as lows from the west try to overtake the high that's in place right now. The result of that is a cloudy Friday with late showers Friday evening. Clearing up and warming up even farther come Saturday. I'll talk about how warm it'll get for that opener coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, why a famed Minnesota musician chose Duluth to celebrate a big achievement. Those details and more as we take you around the Northland after the break.
Injured? Call Stockman Law Office. Automobile collision injuries involving taxis, Ubers, Lyfts, buses, semis, and motorcycles. Call anytime, 218-576-8599. No recovery, no fee. Stockman Law Office. Serious injuries, serious law.
Shop Arrowhead Supply now and get some of our most popular stressless designs for less. Save $500 on a stressless wing recliner in our best-selling Paloma grade leather and up to 20% on select sofas now. At Arrowhead Supply, we're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready! We don't have time for spills. Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
I'm Nora O'Donnell in our nation's capital. We're here at the White House with the President of the United States.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
The Supreme Court building behind me is once again at the center of a monumental battle. Tonight, a congressional investigation sparked by reporting from CBS News. Our exclusive access to the presidential platform. We will witness yet another moment in history.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell from Washington, D.C.
I got into journalism when I was in high school, actually, and that's where I really fell in love with the news and the storytelling aspect of it, being able to bring those things together and keep people informed. It's so important for us to be in a community like Duluth, to be able to hear your stories and then bring them to everybody else in the community.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back. Here's a live look at the deck tonight. The Convention Center is hosting the Duluth Junk Hunt this weekend. The event, which features more than 100 local crafters and makers, opens tonight for a special early bird preview. It will be back open on Friday and Saturday. Tickets are $7 online or $8 at the door. Dave will be in with this week's forecast in just a few minutes, but first, Briggs will give us a look around the region.
Thanks, Kristen. A proposal with major implications on the city of International Falls and a unique fundraiser in Grand Rapids that anyone can participate in. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start off tonight in downtown Duluth, where a Smithsonian record label artist is celebrating a big career milestone. Charlie Parr is a folk musician from Austin, Minnesota. He just released a new album called The Last of the Better Days Ahead. To celebrate, he'll be performing right here at the North Shore Theater before he heads to Europe for an international tour. Parr's performance is tomorrow at 8, and tickets are still on sale. And next, we head over to International Falls, where city leaders want to make big changes to a community landmark. They're asking the state for $15 million in bonding money to pay for their Cary Park revitalization project. That includes fixing up the park's hockey arena. The mayor says this would benefit the entire community and not just hockey players. We have more details on their plans and what comes next on our website. And we wrap up tonight in Grand Rapids, where local restaurants and the United Way of 1,000 Lakes are teaming up to support the community. The Dining United program features a dozen restaurants, all chipping in some of their proceeds to support the United Way's mission. The fundraiser runs until November 18th, and even if you aren't in the area, you can still donate through the link on our website. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, it's been 30 years since a landmark day in the NBA's history. We'll take a look at the past coming up in just a few minutes.
Temperatures perked up today. The normal's 43. We made it to 47 degrees, and that's just the start of a warm spell that could culminate in the mid-50s for the weekend. Will that spill into the work week ahead? I'll let you know coming up after our break.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
You won't read about my mom in the history books, but she's gonna change history forever. You'll never learn about her in school, but she'll redefine everything we know. She's not a scientist or a doctor, but she's gonna help save a lot of lives. My mom works at Mediacom, and they're going to bring us one of the world's first 10G broadband platforms. Mom says, dream big.
CBS3 Newsroom, this is Kristen.
The snow may not be falling yet, but we'll bring it to Duluth.
Is encouraging safe
2:30 in the
driving
morning. Winter stubborn wild days to talk about.
Multiple departments on scene. We'll take you there live now. School visits are an important part of kind of being part of the community outside of the TV station here. When I was in 6th grade, that's when I learned meteorology was it for me. Being on the other side of that now, for me being able to kind of pursue that, it's important for me to then be able to get back into the community. If I can go into a classroom and get just one person who was interested, or just one person who, you know, leaves there knowing like, wow, I learned something new today. For me, I did my job, and that means a lot to me.
Watch meteorologist Caitlin Moffett weekdays at 5 a.m.
We take you inside one of the county's first 5 to 11 vaccination clinics.
Find out what's next for UMD's chancellor during his last year.
Tonight at 6 on CBS3. Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Boy, social media sure has lit up today with pictures of the northern lights. That chance for good viewing last night certainly paid off all across the region. And this example comes courtesy of Richard Samick up there around the Britt area. This is Lake Leander. And boy, did it light up nicely above and reflected below. Tonight's viewing for our northern lights, well, number one, we may have exhausted all of the excited ions in the atmosphere. And number two, the clouds are coming back, and so viewing wouldn't be too great anyway. So this is one of nature's treats, and it's free of charge for those who dare to go out and look for it. If you go out tomorrow night and look up, you'll probably see clouds and a slight chance for some rain, which we talk about after this look at the current conditions. Airport in Duluth, 45 degrees. Relative humidity, 63%. South-southwest wind at 15 miles per hour made it warmer than normal today, and gusting towards 20 tomorrow could push it into the 50s. Air pressure's on the high side, 30.14 inches of mercury, at least right now. Tomorrow, there's a low-pressure system, at least one, if not two, that are going to try to go up and over. So we'll have some clouds, but just a slight chance for a little rain. Temperatures in the region, 43 to 45 at this hour for the Upper Peninsula. We are running 45 to 48 in northern Wisconsin, with LaPointe being the warm spot. Solon Springs, the cool spot there, just a difference of 3 degrees. Minnesota numbers do go as cool as 37 near the Canadian border up the Gunflint Trail, or at least by the border with the BWCA. And then 40s for pretty much the rest of the region. 43 Moose Lake, 46 Hibbing, 48 International Falls. Tomorrow, I think everybody in the area is going to crack 50 and maybe go towards 53 or so. So the warm-up is here and will be with us for the weekend. Doppler map right now shows higher pressure in control, keeping the sky clear, and as long as we're not towards sunset yet, the sunshine is still abounding for most of our towns. But again, that's probably going to change tomorrow because of one, like I mentioned, if not two low pressure systems off towards our west that are coming our way. So tonight, clouds will be on the increase as these lows try to get closer to our area. They probably won't be overly successful at giving us rain again because of higher pressure dominating the middle parts of the United States. Getting into tomorrow as the lows get a little bit closer here, we hold on to continued mild temperatures, but it will be a cloudy day on Friday with a 20% chance for showers at night. But once we get back into Saturday, the high pressure cell will retake the sky, push the lows away, and will be sunny and warm, at least through Sunday, maybe even Monday too. So tonight, Minnesota temperatures, they're going to be warmer than this morning. They'll run about 29 to 36, a step upwards. And Wisconsin and Michigan, low 30s there. Increasing clouds for everybody, so that sets us up for a mostly cloudy day for Wisconsin and Michigan tomorrow. High temps 51 to 55 is a good 10 degrees warmer than normal. Evening showers at least slightly possible. Same forecast for Minnesotans, highs in the 50s, mostly cloudy day, evening showers possible. And that gives way to sunshine on Saturday and 55 degrees. Wow. Also, Sunday, 55 degrees, 50 on Monday. Next chance for rain comes on Tuesday and may turn into a rain-snow mix for Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, it's too early to tell whether it'll be more rain than snow or vice versa. Yeah. That's why we'll be tracking it until it gets here.
Well, I love seeing that picture of Lake Leander. I grew up swimming at that lake.
Oh, you did?
I did, yes.
Yeah, that was a little too far west for us Ely boys, but I've heard of it.
Yes, it's a fun place.
Awesome. Park Point for me.
That's a good place too, Briggs.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Dave.
The gridlock over President Biden's massive domestic policy legislation could be coming to an end soon, with the House preparing to debate and vote on that and the $1 trillion physical infrastructure bill.
House Democrats are trying to bolster the package by adding a new paid family leave program and a possible state and local tax break. But some provisions are still non-starters for a key Senate moderate. Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Multiple House Democrats have signaled their caucus could be ready to move on the nearly $2 trillion social spending and climate bill in the next 24 hours.
I hope that we're prepared today or tomorrow morning to vote on this bill.
But at her morning news conference, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was less forthcoming on timing, though she repeated the plan to vote on the bipartisan physical infrastructure bill after the Build Back Better Act.
We're going to pass both bills, but in order to do so, we have to have votes for both bills, and that's where we are.
In the latest negotiations, House Democrats say they want to raise the cap on the state and local tax deductions known as SALT, and they remain committed to adding 4 weeks of paid family and medical leave to the measure.
There will be money in the pockets of the American people.
But key Senate moderate Joe Manchin remains firm on his opposition of putting paid family and medical leave in the final bill. Senator Manchin spoke to CNN Thursday morning.
I don't think it belongs in the bill. We can do that in a bipartisan way. We can make sure it's lasting.
Right now, the Democratic Party is shoving a massive expansion of government down the throat of the Republican Party.
Congressional Republicans have bashed the Build Back Better bill as a, quote, liberal spending spree, while Democrats are touting new analysis from the Joint Committee on Taxation, suggesting the provisions in the bill will help pay for it. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
House Democrats also want to include protections for certain undocumented immigrants, such as so-called dreamers who were brought to the United States as children. But those measures may not get past the U.S. Senate, where the parliamentarian has ruled against attempts to include immigration policies in the bill under the reconciliation process.
CBS News sat down with Magic Johnson in an exclusive interview as this week marks 30 years since the NBA legend revealed he had HIV and would need to retire from his basketball career and leave the Lakers. This news was a bombshell, and at the time, an HIV diagnosis was considered a death sentence. In a CBS exclusive interview, Johnson's wife, Cookie, reminisced on that turbulent time and how she helped her husband battle the disease and the mental trauma that it brought.
I'm looking at you like this sitting on this couch. That's not the man I married. You know, the man I married was a hard worker. He was changing the world. You know, he had all these ideas. He was so full of life. I don't know who this is. You need to get up and figure that out.
With his family by his side, Magic Johnson said all those decades ago, he knew the one thing his diagnosis would never defeat is his upbeat, loving attitude.
Still to come, we have new information on a development in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Stay with us.
I bet you want to take your career to the next level.
What kind of entrepreneur would I be if I didn't?
This is your lucky day.
What is it?
Managing a laundromat.
No way.
The place is wall-to-wall girls.
Why didn't you lead with that?
It's a new episode.
And?
Then what happened?
Well,
You said girls.
they were girls once.
A new Young Sheldon, tonight on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana hard. The people there, their families, and businesses have a long road to recovery. And now it's time for each of us to help lift up Louisiana. Text IDA to 51555 and donate to the Salvation Army relief efforts as they provide relief to those impacted by Hurricane Ida. Learn more at CBS3Duluth.com or the CBS3 News app. Live, local, CBS3, helping lift up Louisiana.
I know, but Mom, don't skip your recommended vaccines. They help protect you against certain diseases, so ask your doctor or pharmacist about any recommended vaccines you may need. Skip the other stuff instead, like, I don't know.
Skip the pants. Huh?
They're already doing that.
Nice.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Cully.
Yeah, so skip one of those mini Zoom parties. No, Mom, no. Not our Zoom party. I lost her.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Bakke, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Bakke. Tuesdays at 10 only on live local CBS3. Brought to you by Range Regional Airport.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19. And at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
For you to learn something new every evening, we need to write something new. And that's why winning the 2021 Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing makes us smile. The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
The judge presiding over the Kyle Rittenhouse trial has dismissed a juror who joked about the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The incident prompted the protests when Rittenhouse shot 3 people, killing 2 of them. Prosecutors said the juror asked a courtroom deputy, quote, "Why did the Kenosha police shoot Jacob Blake 7 times? Because they ran out of bullets," end quote. Prosecutors say the joke shows poor taste and racial bias. The judge said it was important to maintain public confidence in the case and remove the juror.
The point I'm making is that the public needs to be confident that this is a fair trial, and I think even at the very most, it was bad judgment to tell a joke of that nature.
Now that leaves a 19-person jury for the trial, 12 primary jurors, and 7 alternates.
State leaders are raising concerns over what they call inconsistent vaccine rules within Minnesota County jails. Hennepin and Ramsey counties are the only 2 jail systems in the state currently enforcing strict COVID guidelines. The DOC required all state prison employees to show proof they've been vaccinated for COVID-19 or get tested every week. However, county jails are under the authority of county sheriffs who set their own policies. Health leaders say it's concerning most county jails aren't following strict guidelines. They say as of mid-October, there have been more than 1,300 cases of COVID-19 among inmates and about 660 cases among jail staff since the pandemic started.
Here's what we're working on tonight. The new vaccination rule for large companies, how it could impact nearly 90 million Americans. Plus the promising news about the success of a vaccine that helps prevent one of the most common cancers in women. The new details. And after enduring tragedy in Afghanistan, how 4 siblings are now pursuing the American dream. The CBS Evening News is just minutes away.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
I'm telling you, you should open a business.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
I've got an idea.
I hope you like it.
I love it. Just one question. What's that?
It's a chair. New plan. You make the furniture, I make the ideas, NBC makes them happen.
That was always the plan.
Bring us your best ideas. National Bank of Commerce. We make more possible.
I'm Dr. Yin Dong. I'm a cardiac electrophysiologist at St. Luke's. I'm basically the electrician of the heart. Anything to do with the heart signaling system, if your heart's going too fast, too slow, irregular, that's what I deal with. Especially within electrophysiology, there are so many amazing treatments, so much that we can offer patients to improve their quality of life and to save their lives. Seeing patients improve just makes everything so worthwhile.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. From value-priced softeners to the world's best and even salt-free. No one has more solutions than Culligan to customize the best filtration for your home. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Black Bear Casino Resort is spicing things up Saturdays in November with Oh My Gourd, I Won. 6 players will be selected each hour at 6, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. for your chance to win up to $5,000. That's 24 winners each Saturday in November. Start earning your entries on Sunday, October 31st. And for more information, visit blackbearcasinoresort.com. Get ready for Oh My Gourd, I Won, and make the Bear your place for gaming.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Thursday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and see what's coming up at 6.
Tonight at 5, we learned about the new vaccine rules. Businesses with more than 100 employees and federal contractors will now have to abide by. Government officials announced January 4th is the deadline for businesses to meet the new vaccine requirements. There will be a fine of $14,000 per violation.
And tonight at 6, we'll hear more about Chancellor Lenley Black's retirement announcement today. We'll also hear from UMD staff members who are reflecting on the legacy that he'll leave on the university and the entire community.
That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you right back here at 6.